Morocco sitting deep and trying to have more of the lion's share of ball possession here. Looking for the pocket spaces. Ball still kept alive. Plumter slips. Another cross delivered into the box, and the header and the shot blocked. Jaradi going for the one-time blast. And it was Oluwa tossing Dumain right in the way to stop that attack. With long ball sent in. Throwing to Morocco. We have the first goal lead, courtesy of the skipper, Chabak. Super Falcons struggling to complete passes here. Back to Chabak. Throwing for Nigeria. Long throw. Estakoronko looking for the escape. Yemei Oluwatosin finds Plumter. Super Falcons will really need to be very quick when making decisions, especially on and off the ball. A quick pass to find Hezuo, and a poor cross. Just Ijamiluse in the box. As the Atlas Lionesses are right in control of this jungle here, detecting the pace and the rhythm of the game, and having a lone goal advantage as it stands. Can the Super Falcons bounce back? Are we going to experience a change of story? But it's football. We never say never. Clash of legs as Ajibade is down. I will need the services of the medic. See the attempt there. See Rashidat having possession and struggling right under pressure.
Well, you must praise Gracelyn Chabak for that fantastic goal. She saw a beautiful chance, saw Chakma Kanandoze not at the right spot, took a shot there, and there was absolutely nothing the African goalkeeper of the year could have done to stop that fantastic striker from the Moroccan captain. Obviously, Chabaka is Morocco's most dangerous player at this tournament already, and you could see the coach of Morocco just reveal that, just of course giving a player the thumbs up, enjoying what she's just done so far. The top scorer at this competition already with 5 goals. Before now, she had 4 goals, and it's clearly why she is the top scorer now. 5 goals. Clearly, it's going to take, of course, a miracle for anybody to catch her. Chinwendu, the only likely player to want to stop her from winning that award, needs to at least score 2 or even 3 to topple her in this game. She wants to go home with the golden, of course, boots as the top scorer of this tournament. But for me, I think the Moroccans know exactly what they want to do. Let's not forget they are coached by a coach that just won that of course recently won the World Cup with the Spanish women national team. If not of the controversy that we saw with him and all of that. So it means that they are also coached by a very decent manager, a manager who knows his onions, a manager who understands the game, the women football in total. So for me, even though we know that Nigerians are supposed to be maybe the favorite for this because we are 9-time champions, let's not underrate the Moroccans at all. they've not been superb at this tournament, but they've got a very good team. They've also got a better manager, an upgrade of the man they had the last time they were at this same stage when the last Wafcon was played, when they lost to South Africa in the final. Right now, they've got a man who has won the World Cup. They've got a man who has done it before and has seen it before, who understands how to bring players from the youth. Remember, for Vida, he's been with the Spanish youth team all through his years as a coach, and then went on to coach the national team, and he's doing the same thing with Morocco, also coaching the Moroccan under-20 women team. So it just tells you that the Falcons now need to find a way around these Moroccans. Physicality, we do have it, but the Moroccans are also dangerous.
Now it's a quick pass to set up. Jami Lucy goes for a one-time attempt, and lame one in the end. Had multiple options. Here's one option, Rashidat Ajibade right at the box, and the young lad struggled to find the perfect pass. And thus far on the left-hand side of things, Ashley Plumter has been under intense pressure. Quick start from Michelle. And it's throwing to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Michelle Alozie tries to find Jami Lucy. Rashidat Ajibade. And the decision is corner kick. The referee thinks otherwise from the assistant referee. Goal kick.
But I think it's the right call. Rashidat Ajibade had the last kick of the ball there, and the right decision. It's a goal kick to the Atlas Lions of Morocco. One thing I also want to point out is they know Nigeria's danger player is Esther Okoronkwo. They know that everything Nigerian attack comes from her, and we have two players on her, and it just tells you smart thinking. It means that they've done their homework very well on the Super Falcons and know what to do. Our most potent way of attacking is on the right hand side, and the Moroccans have camped their players on the right hand side also. It means one thing, that they are well prepared for whatever the Super Falcons bring to them. We do the long balls, the Moroccans do have the height. We move the ball, the Moroccans also move the ball freely, and it just tells you one thing, that the midfield of Nigeria needs to work extra hard, and this is where maybe Nigeria misses, of course, Jennifer Echegini in this particular encounter. Maybe should have just been the difference.
And another goal in for Morocco. Right here, the Super Falcons got napping again, and they are now 2 goals up. And this time it's Muzudi that does the damage. The defense got napping and punished. Adedakbo, it clearly looks like it's not the best of days for the Super Falcons.
Well, it is shocking that the Super Falcons have considered twice in the opening 25 minutes of this game, even though it looks like there might be a VAR check for that goal. If there was a foul leading up to the goal, it looked like, I don't think so. The Moroccan player went to the ground, fell, but did not touch the Nigerian player. And as far as I'm concerned, Masunde had the better of Michelle Alozie, and once again, there was nowhere Chiamaka Nnadozie was there, and she took the shot and it went into the back of the net. Perfect goal for Morocco, perfect body movement. The Nigerian defense is in 6 and 7, and the Moroccans are making a meal of the Nigerian defense. Beautiful play, they have a game plan, and for me, it is going. I'm not going to say it's not possible for Nigeria to come back. It is, but where is the motivation? Now look at the players. The players are shocked. The players are rejected themselves. They are struggling to find, the motivation on their own side to see if they can come back in this game. This is not what we want to see of a final. After 25 minutes, Nigeria is down by 2-0 to Morocco. And I tell you, if the Moroccans continue in this strike, 2 potent attack, and the Moroccans have scored from 2 potent attack, it just tells you one thing, that they have a game plan. They studied it very well, and they left all of the talking off the field of play and brought it to the field of play, because the Moroccans were quite quiet, though boastful that they were going to beat Nigeria, and it's just what we are saying. It is 2-0, and it's not looking like Nigeria can find a way back in this game.
But when we look at it from the tactical perspective, we have 2 defensive midfielders who are not very good when it comes to ball distribution. Alimato Ainde, is a defensive midfielder who makes most of the tackles and is very good with interceptions. And the same for Deborah Abiodun. But when it comes to the distribution of passes, I don't think we have that right now in the middle of the park. And that's where we've actually lost the ability to control the rhythm of the game.
Well, I also agree to that aspect. And I do hope that psychologically, the Nigerians have not underrated the Moroccans, because when you look at it, of course, it's Morocco, we are Nigerians, we should get the best of it. I hope the Super Falcons did not go into with that mentality. If they did go into it, I tell you that the Moroccans could pummel us, It's the very first time. How do you explain that a team that did not concede a single goal from open play after 5 games in the competition has then conceded twice in the opening 26 minutes of the same game? It just tells you one thing and one thing alone, that maybe the decision start Deborah Abiodun could have backfired. I'm not a huge fan of her. I would still have preferred a Christy Uchebe to start, but come on, the coaches knows best and know why they've started her and all of that. But I think Christopher Danjuma needs to tell these girls it is not done. It is not over. I beg your pardon, Justin Madugu. I don't know why I keep saying Christopher Danjuma, but for Justin Madugu, it's not done yet. These girls can still come into this one, but they need to do one thing first. And the first thing the Super Falcons need to do is to ensure they try and get a goal before halftime and ensure Morocco don't score again, so that in the second half we will know we are chasing one game. But for the Moroccan side, no. If the Super Falcons chase 2 goals in the second 45 minutes, I bet you it will be game done and dusted. And Madugu needs to make a change as far as I'm concerned. Whether it's to take off Ajibade, I beg your pardon, Ayinde, or it's to take off Abiodun, he needs to make one of those 2 changes right now before halftime and open up the game better for the Super Falcons of Nigeria to try and find a goal.
All right, and when we look at the attacking lineup, it's not firing today, struggling under pressure and giving the ball away. And look at that clumsy and unnecessary tackle from Chiwendu Ihezuo, as the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco have another free kick from what it looks like to be a dangerous position. Free kick to Morocco. Who are largely in control here. And it's Chebak, the skipper of the Moroccan side, sends the ball in, and the header over the crossbar. Super Falcons still struggling to gain their rhythm here. Chamaka Nadozie. And you see shots on goal. Morocco just has 2 shots on goal, and those 2 shots went straight in.
Like I said, the Moroccans had 2 potent attacks, and those attacks led to 2 goals. And it just tells you a team that they have a game plan, I'm quite surprised, because this was not the same Morocco I saw in the game against Ghana. They look sluggish. But in this game against Nigeria, they look a better prepared team. It looks like the Moroccans studied the template of Nigeria, saw everything the Super Falcons could bring to the party, and found a way, to counter whatever we bring into this game, because that's what it's looking like. Now, the Super Falcons have gone long, the Moroccans have height. It means that we cannot use it to advantage. They've crowded most of Nigerian players, and are not giving Nigerian players a chance. Of course, the lasers are also out to unsettle the Nigerian players, and everything the Super Falcons throw at Morocco definitely have an answer to everything that Nigeria throws into this one. I think the coach must now find another solution to try and attack these Moroccan girls. Esther Okoronko is our best player, and they've done one thing to ensure they keep her very, very quiet, so that she doesn't create those chances for Nigeria to at least get a chance to score them or create a meaningful opportunity to have a shot on goal. After 30 minutes, the Super Falcons are yet to test the palms of the Moroccan goalkeeper.
And it looks so much as Esther Okoronko has been isolated by the Moroccan defense, as Nigeria is still pushing forward. Would we need a change of tactic, or would we have a substitution? We are just half past the hour mark, and it's Morocco with a 2-goal lead against the Super Falcons of Nigeria, 9-time champions, and on the way to Mission X. Esther Koronko brought down, and the referee thinks a clean challenge. Michelle Alimatu, poor pass. Jamie Lucy. Michelle with touch, and the referee sports a handball. Not the best. Would have hoped to see this in this encounter. Poor one. Clearly, we will need a great level of maturity at the center of the pack. One player who is calm under pressure. A quick throw. Sent back, passes exchanged. Morocco on the counter attack again and intercepted. Cleared ball still kept alive. And the decision is corner kick.
You can see the urgency in the Moroccan girls. Now, what's the urgency from the Super Falcons? Now, the Moroccans lose the ball, they go for every ball. But the Nigerians lose the ball, and they are struggling, you know. It just tells you one thing, that maybe this is where the coach needs to call the captain aside and tell her, you know, you have to do something on the field of play. Tell these girls it's not lost, you know. We still have about 60 minutes to play in this particular encounter. So it means that the tie is still very much in Nigeria's favor if and only if we do the needful. Now the Moroccans scored 2 goals in the opening 24 minutes. It also means we could score 2 or even more
another opportunity for Morocco to get the third.
Now just look at that again. Once again, poor sloppy play in the defense line, and once the Moroccans get an opportunity, they feast on it. Our girls struggling to clear the ball, struggling to pass the ball out of their line, and if we keep making errors like this in defense, I thought what we saw in the semi-final from Osinachi Ali was something we should ignore, but this is one too many from the Super Falcons, and they're even struggling to stream passes out of their box.
Alright, and they will need to be very quick when making decisions on and off the ball. Dispossessed again. Michelle. Jamie Lucy clouded. And for me, I think the approach for Morocco is to come, dictate the play, the pace of the game, control the rhythm, regardless of what happened. And we saw them do that from the very first minute. And we saw the Super Falcons of Nigeria battling it out. Even when it comes to giving short passes, they struggle. When it comes to giving long passes, they struggle.
Well, I think I must say again, once again, kudos to Coach Jovida. They've mastered what Nigeria has brought to them in this competition. Alozie, looking like a shadow of herself, loses the ball so easily once again. And the Moroccans move the ball freely. Whatever they touch, you know, there's a return pass. The Moroccans, even under pressure, are able to complete a simple pass. But reverse is the case for Nigeria. When we hold the ball, there are 2 or 3 Moroccan players on a Nigerian player. It means that you don't even have enough time to think, and the only thing you want to do is to clear the ball long. And if you keep doing that, it is to the advantage of the Moroccans, who will be happy to see the Super Falcons kick the ball away, and the ball will always be in their own rank and in their possession. Now, what we need to do is to keep the ball in our possession, try to move the ball. Now, Esther has dropped deep into the midfield to help, and that's where the big question is. Where is the midfield combination of... Now, the coach is saying it. Hold the ball. Clearly, hold the ball. That's what he wants to see. It's not about fighting the ball with Morocco. You need to first control the ball, make the Moroccans come out of their defense line so that we can have a chance to attack. But when we cannot hold the ball for 2 minutes, what it means is that every time we lose the ball, the Moroccans are running to us. And because when we hold the ball, our players are going for a counter attack. When we lose it immediately, we lose the disadvantage with players. The Moroccans are at the advantage to us, attacking better and having more chance to it. We need to hold the ball, and we also need to make sure that will protect Esther and shield players away from her so that she can bring the creative spark, because the midfield for me is non-existing. Both Deborah Abiodun and Alimatu Ayinde are too rigid, and will probably need somebody to come off the bench and maybe change something in that midfield. Unfortunately, I look at the Nigerian bench and I'm struggling to see who comes into that midfield. Maybe an Uchebe, fine, but again, Oshola comes off the bench, Nigerians will know what will happen. We cannot trust her. Odega is injured. Ifeoma Onumonu cannot be trusted, and of course, Lusola Babajide has her own struggles when it comes to playing for the Super Falcons.
All right, I think it's best to make a tactical adjustment right on the field of play. The possibility of Esther Okonkwo, who is a bit technically gifted, dropping into the middle of the park, then sending Chiwendu Hezuo up front, and pulling Rashidat Ajibade to the flanks to exploit with paces. And then, because right now we can see that she's actually a shadow of herself right at the center of the park. And the ball again, once again, gifted away.
Now, again, at the upturn time is the fact that we just cannot keep the ball. The moment the Moroccans have it, the moment we have the ball, we lose it easily to the Moroccans. But when the Moroccans have it, they don't lose it easily. They string 10, 6, 7, 8 passes together and are able to do something meaningful with the ball. But the Falcons, who have the ball, string 1 or 2 passes and then long, and we lose the ball again.
All right, back into the scene of action. It's a short pass to find Dimei Oluwatosin. Hezu, Deborah Abiodun. Back to Plumter. Oluwatosin. Sinatio Hali. Looking for the perfect pass. Poor pass again. And Abdulkadir, I think another challenge is each time our defenders hold the ball, the midfielders go into hiding.
Now, Ohale was asking for a player to return the ball to, but there was nobody. Now, Deborah and of course Ayinde are clearly hiding and not creating space. She has the ball again, she goes long, trying to find somebody in particular, of course, straight into the hands of the Moroccan goalkeeper. Now, the first time we are even having a ball into the Moroccan goalkeeper, it had to take us almost 40 minutes to have the Moroccan goalkeeper.
And it's not even a shot on goal.
And it's not a shot on target. You know, well, you could categorize it as a shot, because whether I would like it or not, it was a header from a Nigerian player. But it had to take 40 minutes for Nigeria to have a real ball, at the hands of the Moroccan goalkeeper.
Morocco again dispossessed. Osinachi Ohali looking for the perfect pass. It's Folashade Jamilusi. Great pass. And it's Rashidat Ajibade in the counter. Delivers across to Esther, and ball too high. Great pass from Folashade Jamilusi. As we see her drop into the center of the pack. The first clear-cut pass we've seen thus far. And we could see the coach, Justin Madugu, furious. Throwing to Nigeria. And the pass stopped. Throwing to Morocco, and it's El Haj. Poor throw in the end. Nigeria has the throwing advantage. Esther Okonkwo closely marked. Chiwendu Hezuo. Poor pass. And it's a Moroccan defender with the last touch. Benzina. Esther Koronko looking for the escape. Gets a corner kick. Almost the 6th of the 7th corner, and yet no scar. Player left unmarked. And Chiamaka Nadozie found herself in a no man's land as the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco seem to be having a walk in the park.
Well, most definitely, they'll be enjoying it. It's almost half-time and leading to by 2-0. It just means that the entire nation is 45 minutes away from winning their first Women African Cup of Nations. Remember, Moroccan football is back, on the international fold. Only recently, the men's national team became the first African side to reach the semi-final of the FIFA Men's World Cup in the last World Cup in Qatar, when they achieved the feat no African nation has ever done. Now, before they got to the final last year, Morocco had only been to 2 previous Women African Cup of Nations tournaments. Now, this is a nation that has only played the Wafcon 4 times. It just tells you the gulf, in the development of Moroccan women football in Morocco in the last, let's say, 6-8 years. Now, this was a nation in the early 2000s and the late 90s. They were struggling as a football nation in terms of playing women football. But in 2020, of course, 2022, I beg your pardon, when they hosted this competition, we all know what happened. They got to the final against all odds, lost to South Africa, and regrouped, had Coach Pedros in that tournament, a man that had won the UEFA Champions League back to back, right there, and then regrouped. And this time around, they brought in a World Cup coach who had just left, Spain after coaching them to the World Cup. They did first bring him as under-20 coach, took them to the Women's World Cup, under-20 World Cup. The Morocco under-20 team lost all 3 games, but I said, you know what? We know that you have capacity. We're not letting you go yet. Come back to this team, go to the senior national team, and we're now seeing the impact play. Now Morocco are yet another Wafcon final, and maybe just with 45 minutes away from winning their first major honor since the Atlas Lions themselves won the African Cup of Nations back in the 90s.
All right, a penalty appeal ignored by the referee. Long pass. Goal kick. As Justin Madugu not very placed. And it's a clear symbol that other African countries need to go back to the drawing board with regards to football development.
Well, most definitely. Morocco have shown that if you invest heavily, you will, of course, get the right result. And that's exactly what we are seeing of women football in Morocco. Now, they did not just invest in infrastructure by saying they want to keep hosting this tournament. They also invested in personnel and players and now have the right, atmosphere for these players to develop and become some of the best players in the world. Now, you look at the Women African Cup, Women CAF Champions League also. The Moroccan teams are also a force to reckon with. Now, they are hosting this tournament back-to-back. They hosted the last edition. They are hosting this edition. And will still host the next edition, if I'm not mistaken, of this same tournament. It just tells you one thing. They have an infrastructure. They also have the players, because what it also does for Morocco is that when they host, there's also a chance for them to also go on to win, because they do have the infrastructure, they do have the players, and they don't go through the rigorous route of qualifying for this tournament where they could face a tougher opponent and not qualify. They're also improving their rankings on the continent, ensuring that they stay among the best teams in Africa, so that if they are not even hosting, when the playoffs come, they don't play against the best team. They are also seeded where they avoid the likes of Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana, maybe Cameroon in the past. Unlike before, in the past, when they were not the power force in African women's football, you will always see Morocco probably playing the likes of Ghana, the likes of Cameroon, the likes of Nigeria in the qualifying round. But right now, they now know that we host, we don't play these nations. We wait for them to come to the tournament proper, and we make them suffer.
All right, free kick to Nigeria. 3 minutes of added time, and we're right at the 47th. Clumsy one. As Osinachi Ohale dispossessed. On a 2v1 for Morocco. Can they get the third? On a one-time leap. A crafty coining one of that. And Osinachi Ohale dispossessed. And you could see how athletic the Moroccans are. Dangerous on the counter. Intentional in possession. And deliberate in defense. Few seconds away to the end of the first half of this encounter. Here's who brought down. By El Hajj. Free kick. Ball sent in and straight into the palms of the goalkeeper as we anticipate the blast of the halftime whistle. And that is the sound of the halftime whistle that sends the players of both teams, the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco, who have a 2-goal lead against the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Well, of course, halftime at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. It is Morocco who lead Nigeria by 2 goals to nil. Courtesy of goals from Grezel and Chabak in the 13th minute, and Musondi about 11 minutes later to give the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco a solid 2-0 win at halftime there in Rabat. And it now means that the Super Falcons of Nigeria must now find an answer in the second 45 minutes or fail to do the Mission X. It now means that maybe, just maybe, we repeat the Mission X tag at the next Wafcon, the 14th edition of the tournament. It's been a game where Morocco have clearly dominated this game. Super Falcons have failed to come off their shell and have been inside their shell, unable to connect this game properly and give the Nigerian fans back home and those in the stadium something to cheer about. It is 45 minutes for Morocco have clearly dominated, have shown a superiority in terms of technical ability also, and that the Nigerian team will need to do better in the second 45 minutes. Now, Israel, not what we want to see, of course, but the Moroccans don't care. But back home here in Nigeria, Nigerian fans will be worried.
Yes, and it's really going to take a combination of not just changing the tactic, but improving the morale of the players coming into the second half. Like we saw, the game is a little bit more athletic, and we can see that the players, the experienced players in quote, are now being outpaced and outpowered. The likes of Halimatu Ayinde being passed easily, Osinachi Ohale being passed easily. Even Plumta is also struggling with the pace.
Is it about the Nigerian girls, undermining the potentials of the Moroccans?
No, I don't think it's an issue of the Nigerian girls, the Super Falcons undermining the Moroccans. I believe it's the Moroccans coming into a different gameplay with a different tactic. And one of the tactics we can see is that they are being quick on the ball. They decide on what to do with the ball. Before the ball gets to their feet, they know what to do. But for Nigerians, we want to show the typical strength. You wait for one player to come close to you so that you outmuzzle, you outpower him, and you outpower her rather. And by the time you're trying to do that, you have 2, 3 more. Because football is all about space and timing. So when you do not take the right decision in the right time, the spaces are closed. We saw Osinachi or Hale do that, and that led to a counter attack where she tried to shoot the player, hold on to the ball, and then she was dispossessed. So if we decide to let go of the physical side of things and be quick, make the decisions faster on and off the ball, I think we can get 1 goal back first at the early 10 minutes of the second half, and then push for the second. When you get 1 back, the level of adrenaline changes to the Nigerian side.
Well, when we get 1 back, at the level of adrenaline changes to the Nigerian side. Hopefully the Super Falcons can find that 1 goal and then possibly chase the equalizer in the second 45 minutes. As a Nigerian, yes, I want to be optimistic, but realistically, with what I've seen in the first 45 minutes, I must be honest, it will take a miracle of epic proportion for these girls to come back into this game and win and stop Morocco from winning their first ever Women African Cup of Nations trophy. We'll go on a break and we'll be back for the start of the second 45 minutes of this game. It is Nigeria who are trailing Morocco by 2-0. We're back for the starter of the second 45 minutes. 3 minutes already in the second 45 minutes. The final of the Women African Cup of Nations, Morocco 2024. It is host nation Morocco who led Nigeria by 2 goals to the courtesy of goals from Chabak and Masudi in the first 45 minutes. No changes, surprisingly, by the coach of Nigeria, talking about Justin Madugu. Seems to be pretty happy with what we've seen from his girls in the first 45 minutes. Before I hand over to my commentator, of course, we'll be taking your live reactions into the studios. Let's hear from you what you think about Nigeria's game so far, and can the Super Falcons come back and find possibly 1 goal or an equalizer in the stadium. It's the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. The studio lines to call is +32 484 741374. Again, the studio line to call is +32 484 741374. Only WhatsApp call, please. Just call only on WhatsApp, as we'll only take WhatsApp call for your reactions. Let's hear from Nigerians what they think about this game and if the Super Falcons can come back and get something from this particular encounter. Of course, Israel, back to you.
All right, live at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat, Morocco, where the Super Falcons are trailing by 2-0, and the Moroccans exchanging passes. 3 quick passes exchanged. Now the counter-attack is Esther, closely marked by 2 players. And no option in the box, but Esther passes her way through. Looking for the option, goes for a cross and is blocked by Benzina. Alozie escapes, delivers another cross, blocked again. As Nigeria mounted intense pressure in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Long one cleared. Poor pass. And Ijami Lucy. Rather, Rashidat Ajibade trying to find her way through and commit a foul in the process. An opportunity for her to get to that ball, but too anxious and commit an infringement. And it's Erimche, the Moroccan goalkeeper, sends a long ball forward. Esther dispossessed. Great control and turn from Haziza Rabah. Here's Chabak. Picks the run of Zineb. Michelle Alozie. Back to Dumei Oluwatosi. Ohali. Alozie. Another misplaced pass. And it's Deborah Biodun trying to set up Esther Koronko right at the edge of the box. Delivers the cross. Lame one and cleared with his. Mayulu Atosi, great one from the centre back. Sinachi goes for the long ball, trying to find Jami Lucy, and intense pressure on Rabat, throwing. Michelle Alozier. Faustio Osinachi Gohali. And there's a throw into Morocco. Quick one to find Rabat. It's Benzina. Flicks the ball over. Back to Rabat.
Now, where's the urgency in the Super Falcons? You know, the Moroccans are happy to play the ball in their defense line, and there's no urgency from the Nigerian girls. Again, we're approaching the 60th minute mark, and if Coach Justin Madugu does not find any fault in making a change, then I think it is not about the girls not coming to the party. It is the fact that Madugu has been out-muzzled by a better manager, which we all know, and the fact is failed to also give a fight by showing the kind of manager he can't be when things go south for his team. Because I'm struggling to understand why the Super Falcons are yet to make any meaningful change when we are approaching the hour mark already, despite the fact that the players on the field of play have shown after 10 minutes in the second 45 minutes there's absolutely nothing new they can offer to what we've seen in the entire 45 minutes in the first half.
Quick exchange of passes there, trying to find the center forward for Morocco, and it's cut short. Ashley plumped out. Quick start to find it. Deborah Biodun is plumped out with a long ball. And Benzina with the header. And a quiet time for the Nigerian fans, who are not really chanting as they were before the game began. Jamilusi almost still in possession there. And it's Chabak and the counter-attack looking for the option. And great recovery from Michel Alozier. Finds Plumta. Provides support. A long ball in and straight into the palms of the awaiting goalkeeper. Plumta with the header. Ball kept alive by Ijamilusi. Abiodun Deborah. Dispossessed. And it's Masudi on the counter-attack here. Really not the best of days for the Super Falcons.
Not the best at all. Struggling to make any meaningful attack. We are not creating any meaningful chance. We are also struggling to clearly hold on to the ball. And the Moroccans are happy, to do all of the work, carry the ball around, move it from defense to attack, attack back to defense. And finally, possibly, just maybe, the coach has listened to us.
To a substitution here as Chejini and Babajide will be making their way in for Chiwendu Ihezuo, and yet to confirm who the second substitute is. Babajide will come in with a lot of pace. And Alimatu Ainde for Echejini. Clearly we'll see Deborah Abiodun sit a bit more deep. Quick start. Trying to find Esther Koronkwo. Jamilusi almost is stealing the ball away, and is Rashida Tajibade on the counter-attack looking for the option. Goes for the one-time blast. Had the best of options to find Esther Koronkwo. Now see edging forward. Goes for a low cross, and it's cleared.
Well, the captain decides to take a shot there. Maybe she should have found Esther Okoronkwo with that ball into the box, but maybe felt she was in a better place to take a shot there. But good block by the Moroccan defense. But this is what we want to see. You know, the drive, the hunger is what we want to see from the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All we need to do to unsettle this Moroccan team is to score one goal. Now, if we get a goal in this game, it automatically unsettles the Moroccans and might just give us a chance now back into this particular encounter. But if we don't create those chances, we will not get the goal. We need to find more chances in the Moroccan box, create more chances, try to hit them on the counter attack, try to find the goal, and just maybe that one goal will unsettle them, and then the equalizer might just come.
Yes, potential corner kick for Nigeria ignored by the referee as she signals goal kick to Morocco. And as we can see the Moroccan fans with excitement. Was there a VAR check? VAR check for a handball. And it's yet to know if the ball was still in play before the cutback pass.
Well, the ball was in play. However, I think what they are looking if a hands are in conventional is in a natural position. Now, when the ball did struck a hand, now the question will be, was a hand in a natural position or the hands deemed fit enough to stop a ball play from getting to a Nigerian player? Now, for clearly, the ball was in play. Now, the next question the referee will be, the VR will be checking that if the hands were in a natural position or not, and that's where the conversation will be. For me, I think a hands were in a natural position, but the VR will have a closer look to see whether it's a penalty or not to Nigeria. We saw something similar in the game against South Africa, but the South Africa case was a bit clearer. Even from here, I could see that the player's hand was not in a natural position, thus striking the ball, but it looks like her hands were in her body, and when he struck her, the hand moved out of her body. And the VR will need to check, and we'll need to see whether it goes to a VR check or not, and whether we'll be having a penalty or not.
And if it is a penalty, it will give Nigeria a glimpse of hope. And when you look at that, if the ball is actually in play, then the referee actually got it wrong for signaling a goal kick. It should have just been a corner kick. Penalty check ongoing by the referee. As that could just be a penalty. We could see the deliberate movement of the hands. Deliberate movements of the hands, and this might just be, and the ball kept alive. The hands nowhere in natural position.
Exactly. Now that's where the conversation will be. Now the referee needs to be big, you know, very, very big in situations like this. And now this is where the referee needs to take a very, very big decision.
Penalty for Nigeria. Can Nigeria seize this opportunity to get one back? The fight from Echejini and Ijamilusi kept the ball alive and off the hands of Benzina.
Just like she did against South Africa, winning the penalty for Nigeria with his crosser into the box. It is her again who has won Nigeria yet another penalty in this particular one.
Smiles coming in on the face of the Nigerian fans. And this time it's Esther Okoronkwo who will step forward.
I'm quite surprised the regular penalty taker, talking about Rasheedat Ajibade, has not stepped up for this one, and it's Esther Okoronkwo who is stepping up to take this one. Take us through.
And the hope for a possible goal here is up on the boots of Esther Okoronkwo. And can she give Nigeria the cost to fight back? And she scores, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. And a glimpse of hope for Nigeria. Morocco 2, Nigeria 1.
Well, beautiful penalty there from Esther Okoronkwo to send the goalkeeper the wrong way. And it's like you rightly said, Morocco 2, Nigeria 1. The hope is back. All hope not lost. Like I said, we need to get the goal, you know. And that's why I questioned why Madugu did not make the halftime change. Now, this is something why when you look at coach's decision to keep things the way it was at the start of the second half, I asked why. Now, a bit more urgency is what we needed in this particular encounter. Now, the players who have come off the bench, Risola Babajide, and of course, Jennifer Echegini, have brought more energy into this game and have brought more firepower into this game. And I'm also a good job there from Rasheedat Ajibade taking the penalty, you know, under pressure to give it to Esther Okoronkwo, because she could have taken it. She's the natural penalty taker for Nigeria. Yeah. But when under pressure, you now need to be a captain and be a leader and pass the ball to the player who you feel will become under pressure. And we saw Esther Okoronkwo, no pressure at all. She was not bothered by, of course, the chanting in the stadium and the entire fans in the stadium, and took that penalty the right way. And of course, the goal for Nigeria. Now, look at Omar Babajide there, bottling the Moroccan player. Now, this is the energy we want to see. Yeah. This is what we want to unsettle the Moroccan defense so that the Nigerian team can come back to life. It is 2-1. There is still a chance that the Falcons can still get a second. All we need to do now is to ensure we move the ball well and find the chances for the second goal to come. Just the equalizer we need and push this game to probably extra time or even get on to win it. But first, we need to unsettle Morocco, and this goal might have unsettled Vida and the Moroccan team.
All right, back into the scene of action with Nigeria getting one goal back off the boots of Esther Okoronkwo from the penalty spot. It's throwing to Morocco. A quick one. Back to El Haj, dispossessed is Esther Okoronkwo, the counter here. Multiple players in the box. As the ball is slightly deflected by Benzina, center back for Morocco. Plumter. Ashley Plumter trying to find Esther Okoronkwo. Is Esther cross blocked? Dimeyo Oluwatosin gets the ball away. And Deborah Biodu makes the recovery. Osinachi Ohali looking for the option. Finds Ijami Lucy.
Now, this is what we want to see. Keep hold of the ball. Now, the Super Falcons are now holding the ball more. You know, when you hold the ball, it gives you option to find the player you want to do. Beautiful pass there from Alozie.
To find Rasheedat Ajibade trying to smuggle her way through. Ijami Lucy delivers a coiler. And just deflected off the head of the defender. Jamilusi trying to win the ball again. Rasheedat Ajibade looking for the escape. Delivers another cross. Right now, the Nigerians speeding up into action. Playing under pressure. And showing urgency right in the second half. Great turn from Oluwatosin Dimei. Michelle Alozie. Plumter finds Deborah Abiodun. We could now see Deborah more into the game, having been brought back to play as a 6. Pass almost gifted away. But Alozie right at the spot trying to connect with Rasheedat Ajibade. Ijami Lucy mounts pressure on Rabah. Rabah looking to win a throw in there. Finds a pass. Shabak. Great pass in. Morocco on another counter attack. Trying to send the ball in. She makes the attempt straight into the hands of Chiamaka Nadozie.
Well, the first real clear-cut chance the Moroccans have created in the second half, but good play there from the Moroccans to carve that opening, and Chiamaka Nadozie definitely up to the task, no pressure at all, and no chance for Morocco to sniff the Nigerian goal with a clear-cut chance to score a goal.
Jennifer Chejini trying to play a quick 1-2 pass. And pass too much for Rashidat Ajibade. Great cut back in. And short attempt, but chill him to bid past Chiamaka Nadozie. Jamilusi smokes the pass through. Esther Koronko on the counter, cuts the ball in. Finds Jennifer Chejini. So Chejini looking for the escape. And the Chejini try to cut the ball back. Plumped out one-time attempt, blocked. Ashley Plumped delivers a cross in and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Well, we're now beginning to see Super Falcons come out, play better, moving the ball better, creating the chances we want to see. Now, this is what we would have loved to see in the first 45 minutes. Unfortunately, we considered those 2 goals and we're flat-footed in the first half. If we go on to lose this game, it will be our greatest undoing. But however, I'm still very optimistic that the next goal in this particular encounter will come from the boot of the Nigerian player.
And it's Nigeria looking for the equalizer as the coach of the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco is preparing to make a substitution. Esther Koronko trying to find her way through. Still Esther Koronko. It's Esther Koronko and can it be in? Still Esther on the center. What a bounce back! And it's Ijamilosi. What a way to fight back. What a way to get one in. It looked like all hope was lost. But right now, Nigeria is bouncing back. And can the Super Falcons fly again? Great job from Esther Okoronkwo. Great cutback pass. And for Lasade Jamilusi, just left with that open net to slot the ball in.
Well, our second goal of the competition, but great job from Esther Okoronkwo not to give up on that particular attack. She started it from the midfield, kept going. Somehow she wiggled away past the Moroccan team, and it was for Lashade Ijamilusi with the equalizer for Nigeria. Like they say, of course, in where she comes from, Ijausi, she's always guiding. Whether there's a fight, whether there's no fight, she's always guiding. Arguably the biggest goal in her career here, and this is what I said earlier, that a goal will definitely unsettle the Moroccans, and the goal we've just seen, the first one we scored has unsettled them, and now the Super Falcons are back to where we want to see them play. Now in the first 45 minutes, you could see that the Moroccan coach, of course talking about Yogvida, clearly outmoves with Nigerian coach in terms of tactics, but we needed to do one thing, bring in players who were more hungrier. And the moment Risola Babajide came in, and of course Esther, of course Jennifer Echegini, we saw a new lease of life into the Nigerian team. Alimatu Ainde that struggled in the first half, left the field of play, but we now need to know that when you score a goal is when you are most vulnerable. So the Super Falcons now need to ensure that we don't concede anymore in this game. If we cannot score the winning goal, hopefully force this game to extra time and then go and win it there, or try to score a third goal before the Moroccans will know what has hit them.
Yes, with the level of the game, Nigeria with high on the adrenaline level, more chances that we could get a third. And a short ball straight into the part of the abdomen of the skipper, Rashidat Ajibade, who will need the services of the medic.
Well, we would like to, of course, hear your reactions for the fans watching out there. Can the Super Falcons find that winning goal, or probably we'll be looking at an extra time in this particular one? The numbers to call via WhatsApp is +32 484 7413 74. Again, is +32 484 741374. It is 74 minutes played at the Olympic Stadium in of course, Rabat. It is Morocco 2, Nigeria too. But the Moroccans now have gone to the substitutes bench.
As we see Cassie stepping in, and Saud also coming in for Jaridi, the striker, to increase the firepower as Nigeria right in front foot in the second half of this encounter. And I clearly said that if Nigeria could get one back in the very first 10 minutes of the second half, and of which we did at the 53rd minute, and that is actually the important goal necessary for the fight back.
Well, most definitely, and that's what we've seen so far. The fight back is on 2-2 right now. All we need to now do is to ensure that we don't lose concentration once again in this game. Now, it just tells you one thing, that even though the Moroccans show superior power in the first 45 minutes, if the Nigerian girls come to the party and play good football, they can actually match this Moroccan side. And that's what we needed. It was not like maybe the Moroccans were better than us. It was the fact that we were playing in the first half and our girls were not playing at all in the first half. I hope Iyamilusi is able to recover from this nasty fall she just had. She's been one of Nigeria's best players, not just in this game, in this competition. Ever since she started our first game, I think against Zambia, you know, Iyamilusi has been a revelation against, I beg your pardon, the third match in the group stage where she started the first game. She's been a revelation. She's been a better player in the midfield. She's been able to do more attacking wise for Nigeria, and we've seen better play from the Super Falcons so far in this game. For me, what we now need to do is to try and see if we can get a goal or concentrate on this, ensure the Moroccans don't come at us. They've made a change, which means they've seen where they are lacking, they've changed it, and they will now want to come back to Nigeria, come at Nigeria, and probably find their own third, or maybe a third for Nigeria.
And then what do we make of the young midfield combination of Echejini and Deborah Abiodun protecting the back four? We could see a lot more of mobility right at the center of the pack, and Babajide goes with the clearance. Let's start Koronkwo looking for this space, makes a lofted pass, and Echejini with the block. It's throwing to Morocco. Three shots on goal from Nigeria. Coil is short in, and Demay not taking any risk at all.
Well, I think there was absolutely no need to take chances there. I cleared the ball at the first time of action there, and no risk at all for Nigeria. Beautiful defending there for Michel Alozie for a corner kick to the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco.
Corner kick to Morocco, who look to be pressing to get another goal, having seen the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who suffered scars of 2 goals in the first half, bounced back in the second half. Corner kick. Quickly sent into the box, and Nandosia with the punch and the rebound, looking for the shot. Sends the ball to Saud, looking for an escape. Saud escapes, and Jenny blocks. Jennifer.
But I think the Moroccans have also woken up. The 2 goals Nigeria scores has rewoken them. And of course, we've seen a substitution from Nigeria. Shuala is on the field of play, I think in place of Folashade Iyamilusi, who is unable to continue this game.
Ball sent in, the ball struggling around the 18-yard
Penalty,
box. A penalty.
Now, penalty for Morocco. Now, the referee was sure she saw that, but the Super Falcons players don't agree with her. The Moroccan fans are happy, celebrating, but the VAR will now come to check this. Was there a contact? It looks like Demay twice. It looks like Demay twice. Definitely a penalty, and you cannot argue against that. It is definitely a penalty for Morocco. and Oluwatosin Dimeyin, they cooperate this time around.
I think 2 scenarios of handballs off the hands of Dimeyin and off the hands of Osinachi Ohale at the same time. It's unfortunate to be in this difficult situation, having raising the hopes of the fans, and now it's penalty against Nigeria. Can Chiamaka Nnadozie make the save to give Nigeria a glimpse of hope? And it's Chabak. Tough one here. Was the game still going through VAR check? Okay, still VAR check to see the situation of the handball.
I think the decision will stand. It was clumsy from Oluwatosin Dimeyin at that point. She could have done better, knowing fully well what is at stake, and at this crucial time, there are things you don't even take a risk for, and one of it is not putting your hands anywhere close to where the ball can touch it, especially from corner kick situation. In games like this, your hand should be clearly behind your back so that there is no chance at all of any possible penalty. And for me, she failed to do so, and the Moroccans will have a chance to score from 12 yards.
As the Nigerian fans will hope that the penalty decision will be overturned, but most likely than not, it looks like it might stand. VAR check.
Well, of course, the VAR has asked the central referee to go look at it herself, and that means what it means when a referee is asked to go check. Talking about the referee Antosino Wanyakua. Of course, the referee for today has been called by the VAR, who is from Zambia. Of course, I beg your pardon, the VAR referee who is from Rwanda, Salma Radai, to go check it. It means one thing, that maybe the decision is not clear, and she will probably need to now take her own full decision on this one. If the ball did touch her body first before her hand, it means it's not a penalty. But if ball strikes directly at her hands, it means it's a penalty. Now, this is where the VAR is checking. Did the ball strike her body first before the hand, or did the ball strike straight to her hand? It is where the VAR will check to see, to be sure it is clear and obvious for it not to be, for it to be a penalty or not to be a penalty for or against Nigeria in this one.
I think she's short with the decision, and let's look at what the decision is. Cancel the penalty.
But the decision is no penalty, and ball goes back in play. The ball is a hand is a decision, and it means automatically there is no penalty for Nigeria, for Morocco. And look at the reaction of Tosin Demey's face. She's prayed to whatever God she can call on right now. It is the God of Abraham. It is the God of everything Demey can call upon. And she's gone down to her knees to say, my Father, my God, not today. It is Nigeria to Morocco to penalty averted.
All right, back into the scene of action. Hopes for every Nigerian at home as Mission X still continues. 7 minutes to seal up Mission X. 7 minutes for a match possible winning goal. And you see, 2 times the VAR check has favored Nigeria. When we look at how we got the first penalty, and it was actually VAR check, not actually the first decision of the referee. And then the penalty against Nigeria also checkmated and changed by the video assistant referee. Back into the field of action and counter-attack here, trying to pick Asisat Oshola, who looks to be very much heavy to make that big run.
Well, I don't want to say the decision whether to bring on Oshola was the right one to do, knowing fully well that we've just lost a player in Ijamilusi, of course, who is very, very hardworking up front. Maybe, just maybe, a player like Ifeoma Onumonu should have been preferred for me. The fact that she's got a little bit of more physical presence right now, but you cannot underestimate the experience of the player
and the positioning of
Oshola. Now, Oshola's input on the field of play sent shock waves and fear to the spines of the Moroccan players, because we know what she can bring. But one thing I want to look at is the fact that this is Oshola's biggest game yet for Nigeria. Whatever she's done from her under 20 days, when she took Nigeria to the final of the under 20 World Cup, where they narrowly lost to Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Germany. She now needs to do better.
An opportunity, the ball rocking around.
Was that a clash on the Nigerian player? It should be checked for Nigeria, and a possible penalty if I am asked, for me, because the goalkeeper clattered into Ashley Prompter. Now, if Ashley was at advantage of the ball, the VAR should be checking this one for a possible penalty. Now, the referee did not signal any foul, but it's left to be seen what the VAR will call the referee for. Was that a clattering by the Moroccan goalkeeper on the Ashley Prompter? Now, it is what we will now wait to see. But for me, that should be a foul on Ashley, because she clearly went for the ball. Did the Moroccan keeper get the ball? The answer is no. After on Ashley is when she got the ball, but Ashley got to the ball before her, and it's clearly for me what looks like a foul. But the 50-50 challenge, maybe, just maybe, and the VAR and the referees will probably look at this one. But it's getting very, very interesting now that the two teams, of course, now have 2 goals apiece, and with extra time, just less than 5 minutes away from us, both managers now know that we are in a crucial moment where no errors will be made. And the referee is having none of it, and I've told the Nigerian girls that she's clearly seeing it. There's no need for the VAR to intervene. She was sure of what she saw, and it looks like play might just be going on.
And when you look at the involvement of Asisat Oshola, you might look at the fact that the head coach might push Koronkwo to the flank and Babajide so much that they use their pace from the flanks, find their way in, and make either a low or a long cross. And with hoping on the positioning of Asisat Oshola to just slot the match within goal, like we saw her do in the first match. A long throw. Asisat looking for the turn. Michelle wins a free kick.
Good play there from Alozie. Fantastic. And that's what we want to see. You know, the Falcons come back into this game, and the Falcons create more chances. I tell you that the next goal, in fact, I want to become a prophet right now, that this game will not go into extra time, and Nigeria will get the 3rd goal before the 90th minute mark. I want to be a prophet and tell myself categorically that this game will not go into extra time, because my crystal ball is telling me that the next goal in this game will come before the 90th minute, and it will be a Nigerian goal.
And we are 87 minutes gone into this encounter as Nigeria have a set piece situation, and Jennifer Etienne! Great pass from Esther Okoronkwo, and just the head of Jennifer Etienne changed the narrative here, changed the rhythm, and it clearly looks like your prophecy, Asensio, has come to pass.
It is Nigeria 3, Morocco 2. It is Nigeria who have come back from 2 goals down to lead against the defending champions. I said so, that I have a feeling that this game will not go into extra time, that the Nigerian girls will find a winner before extra time, and it's Jennifer Etienne once again from the delightful cross of Esther Okoronkwo, who has now had her 5th assist in this tournament, and it's Nigeria who lead by 3 goals to 2, and it's now almost looking certainly to be game over for the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco.
A sad one for the Atlas Lionesses. 2 times almost but never champions, and Nigeria just have 3 minutes away from regular time to hold on to this with the whole of their heart and life. What a great delivery from Esther Okoronkwo, who is invariably the most valuable player for the Wafcon 2024. Great moment for Jennifer Etienne. Great substitution for Justin Madugu. Read the game, and it clearly looks like as if he was listening to us and made the right adjustment. 88 minutes played. Alozier with the long ball, forced to Esther, who's caught offside by the assistant referee.
Mission X is alive. Mission X is possible. Mission X is doable. The Super Falcons of Nigeria are on rampage.
And Alozier down. And clearly one of the best ways to apply delay tactics is to hold on to the ball, knock the ball around. We could see a little bit of action here from Asisa Toshola on Chebak. And great composure from Rashidat Ajibade, trying to tell the players to be calm. The fans really excited, as we can see Justin Madugu trying to give out instructions to Osinachi Ohale to hold on tight to the defense line. And that cross once again
from the player of the tournament.
And that touch from Jennifer.
Two players, two friends connecting to each other, and it's Nigeria who lead there. What a goal.
I'm telling you, she had her foot right at the spot, read the movement of the ball, and a one-time slap. It clearly looks like 6 minutes of other time, 6 minutes for the Super Falcons to soar in the sky, 6 minutes for Mission X to be mission complete. Right at the end of the first half, it looked like a mission impossible, but we are 6 minutes away from the crown. And straight into the hands of Chiamaka Nadozi. Yeah, one big question here. Who would be the goalkeeper of the tournament?
Obviously, Chiamaka Ndozie. Even though she's considered twice in this final, I still feel the 4 clean sheets she kept in this tournament is no easy feat for any goalkeeper at all. Now, you look at the fact that you wouldn't want to give it to the South African goalkeeper, even though she looked like she considered less. Yes, she considered twice against Nigeria, one against Ghana. So she also considered 3 goals, just like Chiamaka Ndozie. But Ndozie kept 4 clean sheets, which is a plus, you know, only considering twice in all of the 6 games we played in this tournament. And Ndozie played every minute compared to the Lamini, who missed one of the games, you know, at this Wafcon. So for me, I think Chiamaka should be. And clearly, without a doubt, the best player of this tournament should also be, of course, Esther Okoronkwo, who for me has been by far, with a golf and distance, the best player in this tournament. You know, 5 assists to her name and 2 goals. It just tells you that a player who has seen it. Now, the reaction on the faces of the Moroccan fans tells the entire story. From leading by 2 goals to 0 to now losing by 3 goals to 2. It is quite excruciating and painful for the Moroccans, but Nigerian fans don't care. We'll take this victory, we'll take it at any time we want, and we are seeing a double substitution from the Nigerian coach. And it's Michel Alozie, and what looks like Nigeria's hero who leaves the field of play, talking about no other than Esther Okoronkwo.
Yeah, it's a great substitution to bring in Oladikbo
Shukurat,
and
to go straight to right back.
Issa to seal up all loopholes, as Nigeria will look forward to more of defensive duties for the 3 minutes left to play. Rashidat finds Asisa Toshola. Oladipo sends the cross in. And a one-time blast just swept past the face of goal. Great shot from Abiodun Deborah, who has now been consistent and sensational in the second half. And just take a look at the ball as it just coiled around the face of goal. It's Nigeria again. Rashidat Ajibade finds Asisa Toshola, sets the ball back. Jennifer Chedidi finds Deborah Abiodun. Long ball blocked, and it's Babajide who wins the ball, looking for the option, cuts the ball back to find Rashida Tajibade, and the pass is deflected. Had Asisat Oshola the best of option as the clock keeps ticking. Mission X almost complete. And the despair of the face of Benzina. Corner kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All attempt to shoot the ball, it's now throwing, rather free kick. And it's 60 seconds, 1 minute away from Mission X. And the Super Falcons will be fighting for every ball. Throwing to Morocco. Another throw in again. Drea, 30 seconds away. Free kick. Ignored. Asisat dispossessed. Still trying to win possession here. A long ball sets in, and definitely not going to be any challenge for Chiamaka Nadozie. And the fans just waiting to hear the blast of the final whistle. Home and abroad.
Yes, we wait that final whistle.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. Mission X complete by the blast of the final whistle. And for the 10th time in history, the Super Falcons of Nigeria are champions of the Women African Cup of Nations 2024. And a sad news for the Atlas Lionesses. 2 times almost being champions, but never. It's Nigeria with the title.
What a match. What a match. The best 90 minutes of women football across the globe has seen the Super Falcons of Nigeria come back from 2 goals down in the first half to take a 3-2 win and edge Morocco and win, yes, an historic 10th African Women Cup of Nations title. It was tagged the Mission X as the start of the competition, and I tell you, the girls went, they saw and conquered. Congratulations to every single Super Falcons player, from, of course, the goalkeeper, talking about Chiamaka Nandozie, to the defense line of Ashley Plumpter, to Dimeyin, of course, Oluwatosin, to Osinachi Hale, and of course to Mitchell Alozie, to the midfield of Christy Uchebe, Alimatu Ainde, to the midfield of Deborah Abiodun, to the midfield of Folashade Jamilusi, to the midfield of Jennifer Echegini, to the midfield of everyone who has come off the bench, Alimatu Ainde, and play, not forgetting the attacking players, captain, leader, and Tani Manika, Mommy Gio, Rashidat, Ajibade, Asisat, Oshuala, Francesca, Odega, all of these players who are aiming to win yet another Wafcon title for Ali. It becomes a 7th continental title for her, for the likes of Francisca Odega. It's a 5th one, and for the 11 players who are making their debut, it's a debut tournament for them. Congratulations to my own very good friend Christy Uchebe for winning also our first Women African Cup of Nations. What a time to be alive as a Nigerian football fan. Congratulations to Justin Madugu also for saying he will win this tournament. And as they say in local palace, now pursue talk, now they do, and they own talk, now talk and do.
All right, it's a very big one when we look at, and like we said in the halftime analysis, that Nigeria needed to make those changes quick in the second half, and of which they did just those 2 changes, especially him bringing in Jennifer Echejini. That actually changed the narrative of the game. Aside her scoring the match-winning goal, she actually changed the pace of the game. She brought more of the athleticism, more of the physicality into the game. We became more mobile in the middle of the park. Now, this is not to discredit the impact of Halima Ainde, but we should come to realize that her time in the Super Falcons is almost past. Her generation is almost past. Even when we look at Osinachi or Hale, they are no longer as mobile as they used to be. But nevertheless, a good one to lift the trophy.
Well, a good one to lift the trophy. The Moroccans will cry all night. This will be more painful than what happened 3 years ago when Morocco lost to South Africa in the final. Remember, they also lost. But when you take a 2-0 lead in the first half against the Nigerian side who looked, lacking, bereaved of ideas, it only tells you one thing and one thing alone. But however, the Super Falcons of Nigeria were able to rally back. I must say, the players who came off the bench were the impactful players, talking about Omari Sola Babajide and Jennifer Echegini, added more life. No, this is where football is more. This is where we have to be human, And let me just interject a bit. The Moroccan fans clearly crying. Maybe I would have done the same if I had lost this title. And look at Tosin Dimeyin. I want to believe, when she comes back to Nigeria, whatever church she goes to, in fact, the way from the airport, there's a very big church, While you come from the airport, you should just take a leap there. Go down on her knees, pray to the Almighty to say, you've saved me about God. Because if not, where I for day. Now look at the energy from the Nigerian fans. Special shout out to Nigerian journalists also who are out there. Of course, we see you, we appreciate you for all you do. Now, this is where the joy comes from. And of course, the woman of the match is no other than Esther Okoronko, fantastic player. See, there's everything I love about Esther. Now, if you follow on social media, she has said it repeatedly that the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi are not better than her. She feels that it's absolutely nothing they do that she can also not do, in all of this. But for me, I must just praise the Super Falcons for their second half display. Yes, the first half, the morals were down. I was also not happy, of course, watching this game. They were not playing to what we expected the Nigerian team would do. But the second half, we saw the energy we wanted to see in the girls. We saw the passion. We saw the commitment. And of course, the 2 goals came in that we needed the equalizer. And just when we needed it the biggest time the most, it was Jennifer Echegini who told the Moroccan fans, you know what, extra time are for children. We'll play this game all through and we'll be champions. Now look at the Nigerian team, taking Zambia off in the quarterfinal, taking South Africa off in the semi-final, and of course beating the host nation Morocco. We've played the toughest side, no doubt about it, and we deserve to win this competition.
Yeah, but where do you think it went wrong? What went wrong for the Moroccan side? 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the first half. At what point did you think it went wrong for Morocco?
Well, I think for me, where it went wrong was the fact that the Super Falcons did not come to party in the first half. So Morocco clearly did not understand what the game plan, what they were going into. So when they led the first 2 goals in the first half, it was more of their controlling the game. But the moment the Super Falcons seized the game from them, the pressure started. Now we know that player to player, that the Nigerian players, the Nigerian team do have it more than the Moroccans. We all know that the Moroccans do have a technical bench, do have a tactical bench, do have a fantastic coach in Jorge Vida, the man who won the World Cup with the La Furia Roja, talking about the Spanish women national team. We know that. However, do they have the players we have? The answer is no. Do they have a Jennifer Echegini in their team? The answer is no. Do they have a Esther Okoronko in their team? The answer is no. We have these players. They have the coach. And what we all needed to do was our players to step up into the game. And the moment the players stepped into the game, we could see the difference in play. We could see what exactly it meant to have a better squad in terms of playing personnel. And that's what, for me, stood out for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The personnel was on point. Mission X is delivered. It's the 10th title. We have never, repeat, we've never lost the final of the Women African Cup of Nations. It would have been the first time ever in the history of Nigeria to lose a competition, to lose a final. And for me, the fact that we've now made it 10 clean sheets in 10 finals, winning all 10, is a testament of the greatness of Nigeria women football. And I do hope that when these girls come back, we don't begin to hear talks of NFF being owing these girls, pay them even before they leave Morocco.
No, I think that has been sorted out by the chairman of the National Sports Commission.
More should be sorted out, because if it was the Super Eagles that did this earlier on 2 years ago, last year at the Wafcon in of course, Cameroon, in Ivory Coast, it would have been a different scenario entirely. So the girls should also be struggling. Massive kudos to Jorge Vida there. You know, speaking to the girls even after defeat, encouraging them even after defeat. It is one game. You fought so hard. You are champions whether you have lost or you have won. You played the best team in Africa. You play one of the best teams in the world. You should be proud of your achievement. You should be proud of what you have done today. And that's exactly what the coach is telling the girls.
And tears of joy of the eyes of Christy Ucheibe. First title, we could see Tony Payne, all being joyful. And it's actually done and dusted. Like a father who sends his son to school and expecting his child to come back with a very good result, we sent our daughters, our sisters, and our girls to Morocco, and they are back, and they will be coming back with very good results, which is the African women, the Women African Cup of Nations.
Well, we are waiting the women national team we presented. Right now, we are also seeing the Zambian, of course, who the Ghanaians, I beg your pardon, who finished with a bronze medal at this competition. Congratulations must go to Justin Madugu for doing what I would describe a yeoman job, you know, getting the needed, you know, of course, results that Nigerians expected to see in this one. Well, before we come back to the trophy presentation, let's, of course, give you a feel of Nigerian fans before the game, the assurance the Nigerian fans had, you know, before this game, that Nigeria was going to win this match. They talk them and they do them. And let's hear from them before the game, how they felt. And we'll come back to the studio here, and of course, I'll talk to you about how the game panned out.
Mission X possible. Every situation that has troubled my life, all my cares and burdens unto you I go. Father, 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 to the Savior, 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 Savior. Put up for Jesus. You are the most high. Jehovah, you are the most high God. Jehovah, you are the most high. Jehovah, you are the most high God.
Every other Nigerian journalist out there in Morocco keeping the fire burning with furious sticks. Of course, Mikolo and all Nigerian journalists out there keeping the fire burning. And of course, the beautiful part is this, that the trophy, the newly, of course, the new trophy for the Women African Cup of Nations will come home here in Nigeria. You know, this is the new trophy, plus $1 million, you know, for the winner of this competition. The Women's African Cup of Nations had a new trophy unveiled by CAF just before the start of the tournament, and it is coming home to Nigeria for the very first time. We've tested, you know, the last trophy. It would have been a shame, you know, the fact it would have been a shame if Nigeria did not win, you know, this particular new trophy. I will now be winning it else from somebody. It is sweet make now we first touch him before another person go touch him.
That's if anybody go see and touch in the nearest future. Sad one, my heart reached out to the Moroccan fans, not what they would have expected, but it's football. With all the laser lights from the fans, it's still what it was at the end of the day.
Well, with all the laser lights coming from the Moroccan fans, it was still the Nigerian players who did the needful. Of course, did the Lord's work. We await the medal presentation and trophy presentation from the Olympic Stadium in Rabat, talking about Morocco, where the Nigerian women national team have done a Mission X. Let me just take you down memory lane, of course, to captains who have led Nigeria to this one. Of course, on the podium there, it is the chairman of the Nigerian National Sports Commission, talking about no other than, of course, Alhaji Shehu Diko, who only recently, yesterday, was here with us in Abuja. And, of course, at the National Stadium, and today is out there in Morocco for the women final of the Women African Cup of Nations. Also on that stage is no other than the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, talking about no other man than one man himself. I'm talking about Alhaji. Why is his name running out of my head? The NFF president. Well, I'll come to that when I get the name of the president of the Nigerian Football Federation. But that's a shocker, of course, maybe under pressure. I can't just remember the NFF president name and all of that. But we also see Shehu Diko there, and the Nigerian president, talking about Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau, of course, the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, also on that one. We're now seeing the trophy for the top scorer. We also have the Golden Glove, talking about for the best goalkeeper. We'll see where he goes to. But let's take you through history and memory lane quickly and take you through some of the past winners of the Women African Cup of Nations for Nigeria. The fact that the first captain to lift the Women African Cup of Nations for Nigeria was no other than Florence Omagbemi. Of course, Florence Omagbemi.
She it as a coach.
Yeah, was the captain of Nigeria in the year 1998, the year 2000, 2002 and 2004, when she lifted 4 consecutive trophies for Nigeria and the Super Falcons. Now, coming onto the pitch of play is the FIFA president, talking about Gianni Infantino, accompanied by the president, Confederation of African Football, no other than Patrick Motsepe of South Africa, and of course, the president of the Moroccan Football Federation, also in company of him. We, of course, are still with the Super Falcons and history lane. In 2006 edition, Nigeria claimed their 5th straight title in 2006, and this time around, the captain armband was passed on to no other than Kikelo Motmuturayo. Of course, Mamayaro, I beg your pardon, Ajayi. If you still remember Kikelo Ajayi, fantastic number 6 for Nigeria. We did lose the title in 2008, where it was won by Equatorial Guinea when they hosted and won in Malabo. But Nigeria returned in 2010 to win the competition, and this time around, it was Onome Ebi with the captain band and led Nigeria to victory. We lost the title in 2012, where Equatorial Guinea claimed their 2nd title, and we returned in 2014, and this time around, it was Evelyn Wabuku who was the captain of the Nigerian national team. We went on in the year 2016, and it was Rita Chikwelu who captained Nigeria to success in the 2016 competition, in the absence of course, Captain Wabuku, who was injured, and it was Rita Chikwelu, the Nigerian then number 10. She played almost till her late ages with the Nigerian national team before calling it quits. And Nigeria continued, and of course in 2018 it was no other than Desiree Opanoze who led Nigeria to yet another Wafcon title. It was the 9th title, and of course after that Nigeria failed to lead, even though many regard both Desiree Opanoze and of course Onome Ebi as the captain in the 2018 edition of the tournament. And of course, coming first is the best goalkeeper award, and it goes to no other person than Nigeria's Chiamaka Nnadozie. Israel.
Yes, obviously Chiamaka Nnadozie, the best goalkeeper, highest number of clean sheets, only conceded 1 goal in the semi-finals and 2 unfortunate goals in the finals. And she's actually also the best goalkeeper in Africa, and now the best goalkeeper of the tournament at the Women African Cup of Nations 2024.
Well, what a way to begin your career with the new club. She will be joining, talking about Brighton women, taking a picture there with the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, talking about Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau. Of course, Greslin Chabak, the captain of the, Moroccan team, will come up to receive a prize as the highest goal scorer, scoring 5 goals in the competition. She doesn't look happy at all. Greslin Chabak, of course, is asked to post for a picture alongside the FIFA president. No smile.
No smile at all. No smile.
Why she go smile? You know, of course, Chiamaka Nnadozie celebrated herself, happy with herself. We now wait for the player of the competition. And it's gone to, wow, Rashidat Ajibade.
This is shocking.
Player of the tournament has gone to Rashidat Ajibade. Well, she won 3 Man of the Match award.
Okay.
But for me, I still think the player of the tournament should go to Esther Akonunko. Now, this is where I disagree strongly with CAF. But of course, they have it. The technical team have seen it. And it's Mommy Gio, Rashidat Ajibade, who goes home. Of course, a warm embrace there with Alhaji Shehu Diko and the Nigerian dignitaries there. Is the wife of the president. Of course, the wife of the president is also there among the dignitaries. Talking about Senator Oluremi Tinubu, also there among the dignitaries. And of course, we'll now see the medals presented to the referees. The player of the tournament, shocking for me.
A big shocker, but when you look at it, she was also very close. Esther Okoroko showed up in big matches, but I think one of the factors considered was her leadership qualities on the field of play, not just contribution with regards to assist and goals. You look at the team motivation, even when the team is down, you see her carry the team at heart and then motivate the team. So she was more or less not just a player or a captain, she was actually also a coach on the field of play. So I think what was also considered was the experience and the motivation she brought to the team, even when the team was down. Well,
the experience is a huge factor. The motivation she brings is also a factor in this one. The referees, of course, who had this game have all been presented their medals, from the referees to the assistant referees to the reserve referee, and of course the video assistant referees are all